up here, so I'm not going to do that part. All right, notes are out, ready to go. This is not on your quiz next time, but you still have to do the homework with it. This will be on the test, okay? So the ellipsis has a different kind of formula, a standard form. So if you remember, I don't paid attention from the other day when we did this. These are fraction looking like answers. Ellipse is not the same as a circle. It looks, people call them ovals, obviously. It's not a circle, but it always will have this formula, standard form. This one right here, when you have this right here, this will always, right here, that will always be 1. When you do these problems, you will always have this as equals to 1.
So the radius is only 1?
It's not the radius, and the reason it's not the radius, because remember the radius is the same distance all the way around on a circle, right? This will not be the same. But in order to find your thing, you always want the right side to be equal to 1. So everything you do, you'll have to do that way. Okay?
So where do we get the radius from?
The radius, as we'll see in a minute, are from the bottom 2. Okay? Yes. That's okay. All right, so the center, again, is the same as the circle. Okay? All right. And the radius, as you see down there, they're asking about radius, is a little bit different. Obviously, it can't be the radius you have in a circle, like I was telling Cole, is because the radius is the same distance all the way around on a circle. Here, they're a little bit different. They're longer, kind of elongated, kind of looking shapes. So we have a horizontal, we'll just kind of quote as a radius, not necessarily a radius, okay, is the A. That equals A. And then we have the vertical radius. Which is your B. So you still have to do the same thing to find A, find B. You'll have to take the square root of those, okay? All right, so based on this, what we have here, so we're going to do the same thing. It's in standard form, so let's use it straight from standard form. Let's get the information that we need, and then we'll graph it. You will always need this information to graph these pictures, okay? So always state them when you do them anyways. All right, what is the center? Same like a circle would be what? 2, comma, -1. Thank you. Okay? And then what is the horizontal radius? So the horizontal radius deals with the A. So we're going to look at this right here. Okay? And what's the square root of 9? 3. And then for the vertical, you look at this one. And that is going to be, square root of that is 2. Okay, so when we plot these, just plot the center and then go out based on what we need. So our center is at 2, -1. And then now if you think about the horizontal, it's going like the horizon, this left to right. So it's going to go out 3. So it's going to 1, 2, 3. And at the other side, 1, 2, 3. Did I do 3? 1, 2, 3. Man, I always do one more. My eyeball gets off. 1, 2, 3. Then the other way, we're going to go up 2, down 2. And when you draw these, you're kind of flat here at that point of each of those points. It's not a circle, but it's not a football-looking shape or a sub-sandwich kind of thing is the way I look at it sometimes when people draw them, okay? It's not the same as a circle equal distance all the way around, but, okay? All right, so let's try the next one. Everybody okay so far? All right, let's try the next one. So we have, okay, so what is our center here? -3, 2. And then what would be the horizontal radius? 1. Okay, so if you put this over 1, square root of 1 is just 1. And then the vertical radius, square root of 9 is 3. Okay, so draw that. -3, 2. So horizontal is only 1 this way, but the other one is going up 3. So again, drawing it. Okay. Everybody good on that? It's almost like a face and like a. Okay, so that's straight from the standard form. Now, of course, the next question would be, what if you don't have a standard form? So same thing, right? If it's not in standard form, we will, what we've been doing every time, complete the square. Okay? So kind of like we did with the circle, you're going to complete the square on x and y. Okay, so again, put your x's together, your y's together. So notice you're going to have to move around those x's. So we're going to put 25x squared plus 100x together.
Can we take out the
Yeah, I will in a second. I'm just, because I'm... And then my other one was what? Plus, what's my y? 4y squared minus 8y. Excuse me. And then I have a negative 4 out here. So now, like Cole said, he wants to take the 25 out. Take out what you can. I'm just going to do it this way because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so what's going to go in the blank spot? So 4, so this should be a 4 here. And then on the other one, I should have, I'm going to take a 4 out. And I'm left with y squared minus 2y. So I should have a plus 1. What do I add to the other side? So from the 25 and the 4, the block I should add, I have a negative 4 here. So between this one, I add a plus 100. Because don't forget 25 times 4. And the other one, I'm going to add what? A 4. So don't forget those coefficients. So I have x minus or plus 2 20 squared plus 4 times y minus 1 quantity squared equals, did y'all just get 100? Okay. Now, if you go back to the beginning, what does this have to equal to on here? 1. So I got to divide everything by 100. So divide everything by 100. Okay. And then when you reduce that, you get x plus 2 quantity squared divided by 4 plus y minus 1 quantity squared divided by 25 equals a 1. So it's always got to equal 1. Remember, it's not the same thing as a circle. That's not a radius on the end. Okay, so let's list the things we have. We have a center of negative 2, 1. What is your a equal to now?
2.
Equals to 2. And your b equals 5. On your notes on, completed notes on my PTA, they have this incorrect. They put a to be 4 instead of 2. So look at that. So let me get rid of this part's on my way. All right, so graph it. Negative 2, 1. And then I'm going to go over 1, 2. And then 1, 2. All right. You don't draw it right. Doesn't look like you have it on there. Okay, let's try the next one. All right, you complete the square on the next one. Move this up. Everybody okay so far? Just trying to make sure I can get that up there so y'all can see it. It's always crooked up here. So you're completing the square right now. Okay, I'm gonna do this while y'all do it. Okay, so how'd y'all do? I have x squared, oops, sorry. Minus 3 quantity squared plus 4 times y plus 3 quantity squared equals, and I had to add a 9 and a, what, 36 to the other side? Is that what y'all did? And so I wound up with a 4 here. Okay, everybody get at least that part, good? And then the next step is to divide by 4. So now we have x squared. Those 4's cancel, so I'm just left with the 1 underneath. Equals 1. All right, how'd you do on that part? Good? Any questions? Okay, what is the center? Okay, so my center is, I got 3, negative 3. And then what is your A?
2.
2, and B equals 1. Any questions so far? Good. Okay, so when you graphed it, it's this little kind of in this 4th quadrant here. 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so your graph, your picture looks like this, a little nice little ellipse. Okay. All right, now we have some vocabulary, so we don't really call these horizontal radius and vertical radiuses. That's just to kind of help you visualize what it is. So they each have a specific name. So we're going to talk about vocabulary. Before we go on, everybody okay with completing square with 2 of them and graphing these? And remember to always divide by to make the left side 1. So I want to make sure you remember that. Okay, so minor axis. A minor axis is the shortest length from endpoint to endpoint through the center. So if we look at this one that's up here, this is your, what I have in red is your minor axis because that's the shortest point, okay? And so from one end to the other, the length of it. Okay, so you're talking about the length. So what would be the length of that one I just drew? So it would be 2, because it's the whole thing from one end to the other. Okay, the next one is the longest length. So the major axis is the longest length. Longest length. Again, same thing, from endpoint, oops, I abbreviated endpoint, to endpoint through the center. I have a question. How many of y'all remember how to find the length between 2 points on a circle? Do y'all remember how to do that? Or 2 points on a line on, how do you find that? 2 points between a line on a graph, how do you find that? The length. So like if I drew a point here and a point here, do you remember how to find the length of that? And I say it, you'll probably go, let me finish that and we'll talk about it. But that's not the length of the line. The slope is telling me go up 1 over 1. So the length is the whole. So think about it. We'll come back to it. Nobody can remember. Okay, let's talk about covertices. All right, covertices are the endpoints of the minor axis. So these are endpoints of the minor axis. Now, endpoints mean I have a point. Please write it as a point. Minor axis. Okay? So literally this point here, this point here, this one was 3, and it went down to -2. So that co-vertice, one of the co-vertices is that one. 3, -2, and so forth. All right, vertices of the whole thing is endpoints of the major axis. So our vertices for this one would be this one and this one. So that one was 5, what? Went down to 1, 2, 3. So this right here is a vertice on there, okay? Okay. Any questions on that? Again, vocabulary, got to know the vocabulary because now it's going to be, we're going to say it, so make sure you know it, okay? Okay.